Okay, so at this point, we can at least understand that these passages in Psalms that many people would like to point to that state that, yeah, that the Bible is declaring that we are gods. Well, you can see that I'm showing you that no, that's not what the Bible is declaring. It's talking about the fallen sons of God. And it's in reference to this judgment. That's the key to understand here. It's in reference to this judgment. And then you'll see that's exactly what Job 38 was all about, in reference to that very same judgment. So this is going to be the repercussion of that judgment, that now these sons of God are going to die like ordinary men. And then we see that they're being compared to the fall like one of the princes. Notice that princes is plural, and we're talking the fallen, or at least one of the fallen princes of this world, which will be known as Apollyon, or the devil. But in his Sumerian title, it would be Enki, Lord of the Flowing Waters. And that's going to be what connects us here to Job 38, because Job 38, after line 7, is going to begin to describe this very same abyss in which these beings have been cast to after this rebellion, in which will prove that we're talking about this fallen faction, which could no way be connected to Jesus Christ. So that's something very important to retain at this point, but it'll become more clear as we move forward. So that's exactly right. Psalms 82, we are talking about a judgment which is taking place at the foundations of the world as it's connected to these sons of God. And we can see that they have done something wrong, that they have now began to accept the persons of the wicked. In other words, the influence of these fallen morning stars after this judgment. So now we see these mighty men. He's judging these gods, these mighty men, in other words, these sons of God, because they have abandoned their first estate. They've abandoned what they were supposed to do. And now they are following the fallen prince. And now that's what line 5 begins to clarify as it connects to Job 38. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. Even after this judgment has gone against them to show them the way, they're still going to walk on in darkness. Now all the foundations of the earth are out of course, which is directly after we saw these foundations of the earth were on course. So from line 7 to line 8, we experience rebellion. Just exactly like we saw in Psalms 82 was about this judgment, which is judging this rebellion. So now we're going to begin to get the description of the holding place where these morning stars and these sons of God are being held. Now it's both symbolic and literal. Listen closely. Or who shut up the sea with the doors when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb? Now remember, Enki is Lord of the flowing waters. And of course the abyss or bottomless pit, of which Apollyon is associated with, is connected to the sea. When I made the cloud the garment thereof, the thick darkness a swaddling band for it. So we see that this abyss is somewhat covered, and it's described that they cannot break forth, listen, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thou proud waves be stayed. Now these beings are known as the children of pride. And it's describing now, once again, the connection to these morning stars. Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the dayspring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it? It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. Once again, talking about the sixth seal in reference to their materialism as the clay. But that's very deep. We'll have to move forward. And from the wicked their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. Their high arm, the high arm of the wicked, the very same wicked that we were talking about in Psalms 82. And it says, hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, the abyss? Or hast thou walked in search of the depth, the bottomless pit? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou hast knowing. All right. Knowest thou if thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail? Now, think about that in connection to the abyss. I'll be back.